Okay, everybody. Wasn't gonna do a video, but I'm gonna go ahead and do one because maybe it'll help somebody out. I had a hard time trying to figure out the idea I was gonna do, so figured I'd share. Maybe it'll help somebody. I'm gonna put a hot tub here. The problem is there's a slope on this patio in the back corner, about 2.25 inches. It's under 2.5 inches. From over here to that corner there. So my OCD is going to drive me crazy if I put a hot tub here and all the water is, to the back end. So I'm going to build this frame. I'm going to put gravel in there. So I just wanted to kind of show everyone. I had to figure out what the slope was, and then I'm cutting the boards with the slope. So when it's all finished, the frame will be level, and I'll fill it full of gravel. But what I did, and keep in mind, I am not a carpenter at all. I know enough just to create issues. But I bought some stakes, and I bought some of this string, and I just started, and then basically made the square of the size that I wanted. It's a little bit bigger than the size, but I was trying to get the slope. So what I did is I started over here because this is the lowest point. Lowest meaning the highest on the frame, I guess. Anyway, this point over here is like 5.5 inches. And then it comes up here, that's like 3.5 inches. Over here is level, and so that's 3.5 inches. And then when it comes down here, that's about 4.5 inches. So then from there to there's like an inch slope. So anyway, so what I'm doing, just to show you guys, I was gonna go for 4x4s, but the problem is the table saw. This table saw doesn't cut 3.5 inches. So what I decided to do was to do 2 4x6s and then cut them down, each, and then sandwich them together. This is a 2x4, and these are 2x6s. And you can see I just trimmed it down the best I could. And what I did is I glued them together. I glued them together, and I put screws in here. That way, when it comes down to it, it's very solid for the frame. I haven't attached everything, I just have it sitting here for now. But what I did is I cut the slope, and it's level here, level there, level there, level there, level on the cross, over there, there. Okay, so everything is pretty much level. So it worked out. My cuts weren't the best, but you know what? It's good enough. So I'm going to put gravel in here, like I was saying. I'm just going to get number 57 gravel, just stick it in here. The idea is the hot tub base is 83.5 inches as far as a square. The open area here, I made that 85 inches. That way the tub itself will only sit on the gravel. It will not sit on the frame. And I'll have just, a little bit of gap all the way around. So if my calculations are correct, the outside of the hot tub, I think, is 89. So anyway, as it sits, there should be probably about an inch of the frame that you'll see all the way around the hot tub. And as the hot tub sits, you will not see any gravel, unless you get down like this. So that's my theory. If I see gravel, oh well, who cares? Oh, also what I'm gonna do, wasn't really sure how to attach all this stuff. So since I used, a 2x4 here, 2x4 here, all the rest are 2x6s that I, cut down for the slope. At first I was gonna put leg bolts, in like this, but the problem is when I thought about it, if you go like this in the center, well, it's going to be right in the center of the two boards. So what I'm going to do is put one leg bolt here, you know, so it's like that, but it'll be in the center here. And I bought smaller ones. I don't know what size, so 6 inches, but 3/8. So then these, I'm going to put one right here and then one right here. So these are going to be all the way around on the outer side, and then the larger one will be right here in the center, like I said, on the inner board. I'm thinking that should be okay. The reason I didn't use multiples of these, I can over here, but I'm just going to use one bigger one, and I was afraid if I used, you know, one here and one here, there wouldn't be enough space. So just to have it be consistent with the other side, I'm going to do this the same, you know, same pattern on all of them all the way around. And then after a couple months, I'll stain this the darker brown, like what I have here. We're going to stain that as well, darker brown. A couple things I just want to point out. One is, if you guys watch my videos, I do this as I go. I am not a skilled carpenter at all, so it takes me a long time to figure this crap out. Anyway, one thing that I've noticed when I did the string and I marked it, and then when I cut the slope, I kind of screwed up the cut. So anyway, my point is I cut it, and then initially I was thinking it would be the top part. Well, all I did was flipped it upside down. Since the board's going to be level, technically it doesn't matter. You just flip it upside down. So my cuts are actually touching the patio, and what looks nice is the uncut area. So it looks pretty professional. And I did end up putting some cut and seal on the bottom. Anywhere I cut, I end up putting cut and seal on it, just to kind of help preserve the wood. After a couple months, once this dries out, I'll stain it. So there's quite a bit of gravel in here. This thing is the gravel area itself is 85 inches and 85 inches, so it's a square. I end up getting one scoop that the guy said was 2/3 of a cubic yard, and that was almost enough, but unfortunately it wasn't, so I had to go back and get more. So if I'm guessing, there's probably 1 cubic yard in here. Of course, on the internet they got calculators to figure it out, but you know, I had to get a scoop at a time. So anyway, worked out pretty good. I end up, you know, using a tamper, I guess they're called. Compacted it all down. It's pretty solid. Okay, a spa was, or hot tub, whatever you want to call it, was delivered today. You can see my calculations were pretty close. I was thinking maybe you wouldn't see the gravel quite as much, but you can see a little bit. This thing is level. Okay, I wanted to wait to post this video after I installed the pad and everything. Once this has been sitting here, I've had this probably for about a month. So everything's been working great. The tub has not moved at all. So I just wanted to point out a couple things here. Got a little bit of space here, so I ran the wire over to the side. On this model, you can run it on either side. So I thought it'd be best just to run it here. Then I ran at the bottom all the way down to the sub panel, to the main breaker. Anyway, so if you're thinking about doing this gravel pad or whatever, This thing has worked better than I thought so far. Hasn't moved, hadn't had any issues. It's full of water right now. We got the cover that goes to the back. You know, kids are in here playing, splashing, everything. So it's worked out great. The reason I did this is we have a stamped concrete, and I didn't want to put anything over this that was permanent as far as putting extra concrete. I was going to build a deck, you know, and place this on it, but I figured this was going to be the cheapest way. Just do some wood and gravel, and that way, if and when this thing ever dies, we can just pick this up easily, and it didn't affect our stamped concrete. One thing I have noticed, which is good, you know, like I was saying, the slope goes over here, so as kids splash and water gets down into the gravel and stuff, it eventually comes over to the back side. I don't know if you can see because of the shadow, but anyway, water will drain out this way. I just recently I had extra gravel, so I recently put gravel here because this was getting all muddy. The water, you know, obviously drains down. So that's kind of good. One thing also with this model, this is salt water. We decided to go with salt water. I love it. I may do a review on this hot tub. This thing is awesome. The jets are extremely powerful. Anyway, what I've noticed is, since it's salt water, as you get out and stuff, and any water that splashes on here, you'd have to clean it up a little bit. There is some salt residue, like right here. It's not much, you know, but as soon as you spray that down, it comes off really easy. I don't really see any on the ground. I guess a little bit right there. That's sunscreen. Don't get in the hot tub with sunscreen. So anyway, this thing has been great. If you're thinking about doing something like this, because the reason I did this is I had the patio and I wanted this level. Now with me doing this hot tub is level. It's perfect. If you found this video helpful, if you would, go ahead and subscribe. I do random ththings around the house. Look at the other videos, you'll see what I do.